珍しい茶化をしそうになったが、有意義な時間であった。そろそろ仕事に戻らねばならぬ時間であろう。茶会はこれまでにしよう。そなたとわらわが茶を飲むことを好かん者もおるようでな。
え?
Oh, Canon. The witch gripped a teaspoon and flipped it with her fingers, sending it up in the air. After that, it was launched by the fingers of some invisible person and flew straight into a nearby bush. The bush shook violently and Canon came out. Yep. Seemed he had been there for some time, watching their tea party. The spoon was gripped in his hand. If he hadn't caught it in an instant, it might have hit him hard in the forehead and caused him to start oozing blood. Whoa, so you tell me my man just fucking snatched that shit out of the air, huh? Tight. That's dope. Man's just chilling in the bush, he sees it coming at him, like, who knows how fast that thing rocketed at him, he just fucking whoosh. That man was up.
安心せよ。茶会はこれで終わるぞ、カノン。
いつからそこにいたの？声をかけてくれればカノン君の紅茶も入れたのに。
女同士の語らいを邪魔したくなかったのであろう。
Canon kept silent, but there seemed to be a slightly hostile look in his eyes. On the outside, he acted with respect. But unlike Shannon, Canon did not trust the witch. My man. Oh. When Beatrice hit the table with her pipe, the tea set turned into gold butterflies, which flew upwards all at once. They then scattered in every direction, and the cleanup was already done.
楽しかったぞ、シャノン。また縁があれば会おうぞ。まだまだ魔力が足りぬでな。姿を現すのも疲れる。
そんなに疲れるなら二度と現れるな。
Canon had said it in a small voice, but the witch seemed to have heard it perfectly. Of course she did. She's a fucking witch. She giggled, but did not reply.
シャノン、次の茶会ではジョージとの話をまた聞かせておくれ。人の恋路より甘い茶化は他にない。それではさらばだ。
Beatrice's body also became gold butterflies, which scattered in all directions and disappeared. It was a fantastical and beautiful scene, like a blizzard of gold leaf. For a while, Shannon quietly watched the witch's exit. Canon approached her from behind and spoke with an expression that was drastically different from hers.
姉さん、あいつと付き合っちゃダメだって言ったじゃないか。
ベアトリーチェ様はそんなに悪い人じゃない。確かにちょっと怪しいところはあるけれど。
僕たちにしか姿が見えない時点で十分にうさんくさいよ。あいつは人間じゃない。何を企んでるかわかるものか。
カノン君、それは少し失礼だと思うな。
There was a touch of sternness in Shannon's voice, which was unusual for her. To Canon, who knew her well, she must have sounded extremely stern. Canon, looking excessively surprised considering Shannon's tone, fell silent.
確かにベアトリーチェ様は人間とは違う。恐ろしい力を持っているし、恐れ敬わなければならない存在だと思う。でも人間とは違うからといってそれだけを理由に忌み嫌うのはとても。
姉さんの言いたいことはわかるよ。姉さんはあいつにあのブローチをもらってから変わった。まるで魔女の虜だよ。ジョージ様との仲を取り持ってもらって頭が上がらないんだ。
そんなことを言わないで。
あいつは人間じゃない。何を考えてるかわからない。だから気を許しちゃダメなんだ。
That's very close-minded of you.
人間じゃないのは僕らも。姉さん。
Canon's words grew more serious. Those words probably gouged at Shannon's heart. She bit her lower lip and hung her head.
僕らは家具だ。
I mean, she's not furniture anymore.
たとえ名前をもらい人として接してもらったとしても僕たちの生まれが変わるわけじゃない。
You are no longer furniture. Those words Beatrice had given her, which had made her happiest, floated through Shannon's mind.
家具じゃないよ。
家具だよ。僕たちは人間未満。姉さんはそこを忘れたふりをして、人間のふりをしているだけ。自分でも分かっているはずだよ。
私家具じゃないもん。
Okay.
人間だもん。
いや、僕らには愛する資格も愛される資格も初めからない。
Cannon's criticism seemed to have shifted away from Shannon's meetings with the witch. Shannon picked up on that quickly.
お嬢様に聞いたよ、正直。あっち王子様と一緒に旅行に出られるなんて。家具の身の程を忘れてるよ。姉さんはあの魔女にそそのかされて、自分が人間になれたと勘違いしてるだけなんだよ。
聞いてカノン君、確かに私たちは家具だよ。人間に劣った未満の存在。でもその満たない分をもし得られたなら、それは人間になれたということじゃないのかな。
Oh.
そんなものありはしないよ。
Of course not.
あるの。
Actually, I believe otherwise.
それを得たなら私たちは家具なんかじゃない人間になれるよ。
バカバカしい。なれるものか。
Cannon spat those words out, but did so weakly and turned away. He was probably giving up. After all the suffering he'd undergone during those days he'd lived as furniture, his heart was firmly sealed.
なれるよ、カノン君も普通の人間に。
よしてよ、魔女の受け売りは。
ベアトリーチェ様に教えてもらったの。
Yes.
私たちは世界の一なる元素を得ることで人間になることができる。それを満たさないならそれは人間じゃない。だから人は一なる元素を得るために生涯を尽くし貫いていく。
姉さんが何を言っているのかわからないね。よまよい事なら聞きたくないよ。
ならカノン君にも分かるように教えてあげるね。ほら、姉さんの指の先を見て。
Shannon quietly pointed at the sea towards the horizon. Kana didn't understand what she meant and couldn't do anything except look between the horizon and Shannon's expression, which seemed to be posing a riddle.
海。カノン君は海が何色に見える？
It was an extremely simple question. For a while, Kana tried to guess the meaning behind it, but he couldn't think of anything, so he answered obediently.
パッとしない。
Yeah, dark
ネ
gray.
ズミ色。それが何？
Objectively speaking, the sea, laid out beneath the cloudy sky, could probably be described best by Cannon's words. But as Shannon closed her eyes and smiled, she shook her head slightly.
私には真っ青に見える。
そういう意味？緑色の信号を青っていうようなものでしょ。
違うの。
No,
海
you
は真っ
fucking
青。
idiot.
私には分かってカノン君には分からないな。これがつまりそういうことなの。
Cannon bit his lower lip and was silent for a while.
わからないよ。
カノン君、手を出して。
As Cannon was taken aback, unable to understand what she was saying, she took his arm and opened the palm of his hand. Shannon softly said something there. It's the brooch. It was that magic brooch which she had received from Beatrice. A magic charm shaped like a gold butterfly that could bring love to fruition.
これはあいつの。
これは私のだから私だと思って粗末にしないで。
After being spoken to like that, he couldn't just throw it away. Kana didn't know what he should do, and he stood there confused for a while, the brooch still in the palm of his hand. Shannon put the palm of her hand on top of Kanon's, and the brooch was warmed by both of their hands.
これは本当の魔法の力を持ったお守り。きっとカノン君に大切な気持ちを教えてくれると思うの。
あいつの魔法で教えられることなんて。
あるの。だから身につけて、恥ずかしければ懐に忍ばせておくだけでもいいそうなの。
バカバカしい。あいつの魔法なんかに惑わされてたまるか。
Even as he said that, Kanon couldn't be cold-hearted towards something Shannon was urging him to take. In the end, Kanon took it and agreed reluctantly, saying he did prove that he wouldn't surrender to the witch's power. Shannon smiled and nodded back.
きっとカノン君は大切なことを学べるよ。きっと人間になれるから。そうすればきっとカノン君にもこの海が美しい青に見えるに違いない。
ネズミ色は何度見たってネズミ色さ。
違うよカノン君。そう見えるのは愛がないから。
Because you have no love. Because of the howling wind, he had been able to catch the main point of what she just said. So Shannon said it once more. The single element of the world. She spoke once more of the world where it existed, where the sea was deep blue.
きっとカノン君にもだって。
Without love, it cannot be seen. Okay, I know this is an important quote to the series because I've seen people say it a lot in reference to this story. I know this is an important quote. What role it plays, I don't know, but I see people quote this all the time. Without love, it cannot be seen. I don't know what role that plays in the overall story, but I know it's important.
そこにいるのは誰か。
Oh, hey, big boy.
カノンです、親方様。
It was rare for Kinzo to leave his study. However, the fact that he had didn't mean his noble research had been suspended. He may have left the study because of a change in mood, but that didn't mean the thoughts filling his head were any different from those he had while inside the study. Kanon knew that no matter what the time, speaking to Kinzo when he didn't want to be spoken to would always disturb his research.
天気が重いな。崩れるのか。
はい、天気予報ではいつ雨があってもおかしくないと。傘をお持ちいたしましょうか。
それには及ばん。しばらく私を放っておくがいい。息子たちに聞かれても所在は知らぬと言っておけ。私は自らの思考を巡る旅で忙しい。
かしこまりました。それでは失礼いたします。
Before Kanon finished bowing, Kinzo had already returned to his own world, having forgotten Kanon's presence completely. And once again, he began rambling to himself. Amidst those words, the name of that witch popped up many times.
おお、ベアトリーチ。お前の微笑みに手が届かぬ。どうすればよみがえるのか。どうすれば再び微笑んでくれるのか。何が足りぬ。研究か、資料か、触媒か。それとも魔力か、運気か、神託か。ああ、ベアトリーチェ、どうすればお前の面影をもう一度見ることができるのだ。
As Kanon listened to his master's weeping voice with his back turned, he turned around just once. When he did, right behind his isolated old master was the shadow of a person who shouldn't have been there. It was the witch. At once thinking that the witch must be plotting to do Kinzo some harm, Kanon dashed back to Kinzo and tried to form a shield with his body. Kanon, you dumb fuck! But when he saw the expression on the witch's face, the emotion of his vanished. After all, Beatrice's expression was sorrowful. Or maybe pitying.
愚かな金蔵。わらわはここにいるというのに。見えぬのか。
Right behind Kinzo, as he repeated the witch's name over and over, desiring to be reunited with her more than anything else, was the witch herself. And yet Kinzo didn't notice anything. When Beatrice tried to rest her hand on his shoulder, he didn't notice.
なぜだ。なぜベアトリーチェの微笑みに手が届かぬのか。月齢か。水星の周期か。惑星の配列か。 何が足りぬのだ。何が
無駄よ金蔵。愛がなければ見え
Without
ない。
love, it cannot be seen. Oh ho ho. Okay. Once again, coming back to that line. Ganon took the brooch he had received from Shannon out of his pocket. By learning something new, would he become able to glimpse something he couldn't see now?
愛がなければ見えない。
He looked at Kinzo's back once more. The witch could no longer be seen there. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Oh, we're at a food mart. Or culture festival. That's right. The biggest fall event for the Ushirome family was the family conference in October. Because I remember, didn't Jessica mention something about a culture festival? But to Jessica, yep, okay. There was another major event that came before that. The school cultural festival. Jessica liked school. To her, it was a place where she could let out the stress she'd built up from the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. For today's cultural festival, she'd formed a group with her friends. And had announced they'd perform some light music on a temporary stage. Nice drums. She prepared and practiced for this over and over until today, always anxiously awaiting this day's arrival. But there was one thing that worried her. She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Would that person really come? After taking a single deep breath, her heart jumped when all her friends suddenly started speaking in shrill voices.
嘘、ひなの彼氏超イケてんじゃん。
Uh-oh.
マジすごくない？マジすごくない？
リンの彼氏すっごい頭良さそう。あれでド S メガネなの？マジ本当？
ダメダメ、うちの旦那ギャル男だし。
It may not be like this for all girls, but at least at Jessica's school, the cultural festival was basically a boyfriend exhibition. Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special only one. But Jessica was a little famous around the school, and everyone thought it'd be natural for her to have a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had led her to pretend that this was true. She'd somehow managed to keep them fooled until this year. But for various reasons, she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival.
ジェシー、彼氏来た？
Oh! School uniform, Jessica. Oh, isn't this her PS3 sprite? Yeah, is that... I can tell by the face.
仕事忙しいのかな？
ジェシーの彼氏どんな人なの？せめてヒントだけでも出してよ。何系？何系？
すごいよね、社会人なんでしょ？スーツとかで来る？もちろんメガネかけてるよね。キャー！ねえ、でも本当はいないんだよね。
Ouch. I mean, true,
素
but
直に
ouch.
白状したら私の仲間に入れてあげるって。一緒にこの文化祭を涙で濡らそうよ。
いやいやいやいや、いるいるいる、本当にいるって。
Come on, Jessica, take the easy out. They're not even judging you at this point. They're just like, some of them are just like, yeah, we're single too. Jessica's bitter smile was covered with cold sweat. It was starting to seem doubtful whether she had really had deceived her sharp-witted friends. Of course she hasn't. They're already calling her out on it. Of course she didn't fucking deceive them. And let me guess, Kanon's gonna show up last second.
はい。なら彼氏さんの偽物を立てて連れて行くという
Doing
の
a
は
what
どう
now?
でしょうか。
偽物？誰を？そんなのの心当たりねえぜ。
Shannon's ridiculous plan surprised Jessica into hysterics. Even so, it was probably more realistic than the crazy methods running through her head about getting a boyfriend in the big rush before the culture festival.
例えばですが、
Like, for example, if you were to convince one of your servants to dress up for you or some shit.
カノン君なんてどうでしょう。
カノン君？ダメダメ！というか、きっとカノン君文化祭の日は仕事に決まってるぜ。迷惑かけちゃ悪いしさ。
Oh, now the table's getting turned on her.
もちろん予定表も確認済みです。カノン君はその日お休みになっています。
こんな時ばっかり容量がいいのな。じゃなくて、休みならもっと悪いぜ。せっかくの休みを私の見栄のために引っ張り出せないよ。
カノン君は引っ張り出されないといっつも閉じこもってばかりいますので、無理に引っ張り回すくらいでちょうどいいかと思いますよ。
そうなの？
Jesus, that fucking grin.
でもカノン君に悪い
なら晩酌つきますね。
You're gonna be the lonely single bitch, aren't you?
おとなしく彼氏はいませんと白状なされてはいかがでしょうか。それは肩身の狭い思いをなされるでしょうが、卒業までの短くも長い間を耐え忍ばれるだけでございますし、愛し合う恋人同士にとって独り者のひがみ顔が何にも勝る甘い蜜なのです。
シャノン、私のために本気で悩んでないでしょ。おちょくってるでしょ。
What? No. Oh, shit. Jessica wrestled about with Shannon, her eyes teary, but Shannon was unfazed, laughing with her usual smile.
はい、私とジョージ様のことを茶化してばかりのお嬢様への仕返しです。
Get her. Listening to Shannon's comeback, the likes of which didn't happen even once a year, Jessica hugged her cushion and rolled around on her bed, pretending to faint in agony. She couldn't stand Shannon's smile, which looked so triumphant. But right now, she was the only person Jessica could talk with. She could choke her to death with her cushion later.
いいじゃないですか、お嬢様。文化祭ではありますが、カノン君と一緒に遊びに行くチャンスですよ。
いや、それはそうだけど。いや。
Jessica buried her head in her favorite pillow to hide the fact that her face had grown bright red. And she grumpily chewed the fingernail on her thumb. It really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were of about the same age, have the same sex, and friends. And they were both right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about love. And that's why they could talk freely about these topics to each other. So Jessica had heard a lot about how Shannon and George's love was progressing. And Shannon had heard a lot about what type Jessica liked, what kind of man she might be interested in. Judging by Jessica's reaction, it'd probably be rude for us to go into precisely what these things were. However, this story won't get anywhere if we just have Jessica rolling around forever, so let's dive in. Thanks for the nice little fourth wall break. Jessica had been thinking about Kana ever since she'd shown up. It was extremely rare for young men to visit Rokkenjima. So maybe it was natural for Jessica, a girl in puberty, to develop an interest in Kanon. But if anyone said that, it would destroy the romantic ideals of a maiden's pure heart and love at first sight. Shannon had been with Kanon a long time at the orphanage, so she'd known him since before they started working. So Jessica had asked persistently about what his hobbies were, what his favorite food was, what type of girl he liked. Even to Shannon, it was clear that Jessica was infatuated with Kanon.
もうカノン君をデートに連れ出せるいい機会じゃありませんか。
Yeah, that fucking smile.
でもカノン君にだって好きな人とかいるかもしれないし、私なんかの見えっ張りに付き合わせたら気を悪くするぜ。
お嬢様のような素直じゃない方を何でしたっけ、ジョージ様に習いました。そうそう、ツンドラとか言うそうですよ。あと十数年かすると流行るんだそうですよ。
Apparently they'll be all the rage in a decade or so. True, go off.
へえ、さすがジョージ兄さんだな。未来のトレンドがわかるのかよ。すげえぜ。じゃなくて、ってことは私ってタイプは時代がずれてるってことじゃねえかよ。
Nah, you're ahead of your time. You're a pioneer, a trailblazer. That's what she's saying.
もうダメだ。
Jesus Christ. Took several days of wasted efforts, but in the end, Jessica agreed to the plan of having Kanon pretend to be her boyfriend. And what did Kanon say to this? Jessica agreed to the plan, but what did Kanon have to say?